Go.
This is Chris Ledbetter's mom, Joanne. Chris is still in jail, even though we have proof, video, court papers, illegal arrest warrant. Our two lawyers together were paid over $40,000, and they did it as, I'm sorry, I got lost. Just a minute. All they did is make deals that they said Chris had to take. I need a good lawyer who cares about people. If anyone knows one or you see this, please contact me on Messenger. I'm going to read some of the court's papers. I can show anyone who is concerned about the massive corruption going on. Lots more evidence. By the way, as soon as I found a lawyer the next day, they transferred him to Lincoln County from Pottawatomie County, where he was in holding a year and a half. Nobody stays in holding a year and a half. He was kept as a ghost prisoner. Okay. The charges that they came up with after I got a second lawyer and he transferred, 2 of them were dismissed, but they kept 3 of them. You understand that he already got 21 months for this same, what they call the chase. He's already got 21 months for it. And then they added on 3 counts that they kept, and they gave him 5 years for each one, but they're to run concurrently. We have no idea when he's going to be available for bail or when he can get bail. We know in the federal case he was he was approved for probation without even being in prison. They provided information and they said he could be left out on probation. He was no danger to anyone. This is the illegal warrant that we got after a year and a half. And I don't know if you can see it real well, but if you need to see these papers, I can get with you. You can get a hold of me on Messenger, Joanne Ledbetter. Okay, in the court proceedings, there's a lot of stuff that disproves that one of these charges was pointing a weapon. He has video of it that he never pointed a weapon. He did have a weapon, but he never pointed it at anyone. He did not stop for the police on this chase that happened because they had threatened to kill him. Now, this is Wesley Elliott, who has been fired for corruption and sexual harassment. Also, the DA, Alan Grubb, has also been fired at the same time for the same thing. We actually know people that had evidence on Wesley that he was money laundering and printing counterfeit money and lots of other things with the sexual harassment. So this makes no difference to us because my son has been run through by a crooked DA and a crooked police officer, or chief of police, that told him, and we were told, and we have eyewitnesses, that he would kill him in the next round, my son, and that they would burn my house down. Okay, this is part of the thing from my lawyer, my first lawyer. He says, obviously no charges have been filed at the state level, and I've checked that as far as yesterday to make sure no charges had ever been filed at the state level. Well, this that I showed you is state level, and they kept it for a year and a half. It has no date on it, no judge's name, and no case number. So this is an illegal warrant that he was picked up on. I believe this entire interaction from the dash cam video that we have, and if you know Christopher Ledbetter's videos, you've probably seen the dash cam, the video that he took on the way home, where they tried to stop him for a taillight out. In the video, you can see when we turn the taillights on, the Ford Ranger, that both lights are working perfectly well. There's nothing wrong with them. It shows video of him driving home. He did not run any stop signs. He used his signals. He didn't speed over. I would think if you see the dash cam, you can see how fast he went. I think the fastest I ever saw him going was 58 miles an hour in a 55 mile an hour zone. What the officer testified in the second prosecution that he got just a while back, he lied about what he saw. He lied about where he was close to the gate. He lied about my son pointing a gun at him. Even in the federal sentencing, it was proved that the gun did not perpetrate, it was not pointed at him. And we have evidence of that on video and also with the court proceedings from the federal case. His civil rights are being trumped on all over. I have lots of evidence I can give you. I've got papers. I've got eyewitnesses. I have text messages from people that the cops at McLeod School were also harassing her children, asking them if they were at the park alone and talking to them. I have testimony from one of my other people that I know, a grown woman, that the one officer that threatened to kill us came by and harassed her at work every day, sexually harassed her every day, telling her she looked like a teenager and she was so cute and little and looked like a little girl. The one guy that got fired, actually, they said he retired, that was bothering the girl we know that put in a complaint to OSBI, and I also put a complaint into OSBI over 2 years ago. They said retired. He had a photographer studio. He was showing her pictures of Anna Marie Nicole, I believe her name is, which is a semi-porn star, and they were telling her that they could be like her and they could be a movie star and they could make lots of money. I'm pleading for some help. I've spent over $40,000. I don't have any money left in savings or anything like that. I only have my house. And if I could get a lawyer, I would pay him, or if he could be pro bono, that would be great. But I desperately need help for somebody that's always been a hero, and I can prove it. I have pictures of him when he went overseas and the things he done and how he was treated by the United States while he was over there. It's a long, long story, but I would like any news reporter to call me and get a hold of me or message me on Messenger, and I would be glad to give them an interview. I have tons of evidence, and nobody seems to care now. The lawyer's got his money, and he's on his merry way, and he doesn't want to deal with it because of all the corruption with the DA and the police chief. They don't want to be involved with it because it might tie them to them.
Give them your address on.
What?
Give them your address on Messenger.
My Messenger address is Joanne Ledbetter on Messenger. And you can friend me or whatever you want if you want to see the evidence. But I need you to give me evidence that you're a real person and you're not, as we call them, Fat Boys Incorporated, because they do listen to all of these stuff on YouTube and they use it against people. My son had gone to protest and he was only trying to help people. He was there. Yes, he was armed in case these protesters got violent and police started shooting people. He treated people for being tear gassed in their eyes. There were like 3 paramedics there with him that went with him to these events, and they treated people for the rubber bullet wounds where it put some people's eyes out and the huge bruises and stuff it left on people. So yeah, all of that is on YouTube, and you can see any of it you want because they offered him a big job at over 6 figures a year to take down his YouTube videos, and he did not. He said he will not take them down because at that time we knew that Wesley Elliott and the DA were both corrupt. But it took 2.5 years for them to gather evidence, I guess, from us and other people to get these 2 corrupt individuals fired. You won't find any of this, much of it on the news. You can look up Alan Grubb and it'll tell you some about him, but they're not going to tell you about Wesley Elliott. That was fired. And by the way, they fired our mayor also for letting this go on. Anyway, I love all of you. I love my son, and I need your help. Thank you.